You are now listening to the Old Head, New Head podcast with your hosts, Eric Iberg and Ethan Shafer.
Goddamn kids.
Shut up, old man!
What up?
How are you?
Good. You look a little chilly.
So cold, man. And then I had to my garage isn't exactly set up for this anymore, you know?
Yeah.
A winter hibernation till spring.
Yeah. Do you leave that ski wall behind you set up all year?
Well, I set it up just for a show last time, so
It now lives there. Word. All right. Well, we're just gonna do a little recap today. You still rolling up? You got your little Blazy Susan?
Got my Blazy Susan, got my herbs supplied by Dark Horse Farms. You know, I was thinking about doing this inside and being warm, but I figured that was rude to my sponsors.
Cool. So last episode we told everyone we do a little recap, and people have been hitting me up about it. So we're gonna do it. We're not gonna leave them hanging, and we're gonna go over season 1, just give our thoughts and feelings. And you have any questions prepared? Did you prepare for this at all, or are you just coming into?
Oh, I didn't. I thought about it a lot because I was just I don't know. You know, I don't have any question. I mean, my only question is kind of what your view is, because you didn't. I've got to consume the younger kids, right, through their events, through their shit they put out. But some of the older guys, I don't know how much you actually consumed of. So I'm kind of more interested, on your opinion, looking back on the season 1 Old Head New Head podcast. What did you think, man? What was it like for you? Because it was fun as fuck for me. I just love talking skiing. I don't give a fuck. As long as you're stoked on skiing, I can do it all day.
Yeah, no, I was super stoked on it, and I think it achieved something I wouldn't be able to achieve on my own. Because whenever I was doing the Two Planker podcast, I was like, "Damn, talking to these old guys would be great," but I don't even have a fraction of the knowledge that you have, so it wouldn't be as good of a conversation if I'm talking to these guys and I don't know the ins and outs of what happened with them. So it was basically a dream come true, getting to talk to all these old heads. And I think you facilitated that with your encyclopedic knowledge, having lived with those guys forever, pretty much.
I don't know what else is fun, man.
What'd you think of the new heads? Because you knew all the old heads. What'd you think of the new generation and their mindset?
I'm going to try to say it. There's no disrespect in this comment. I think what I noticed most is the new heads aren't aware of how many unbelievable opportunities in which they have by being part of this amazing sport. And so when I look at it, I'm like, holy cow, man, you're so talented. You're all the best. You should be. And it's not about money. I get it. Trust me. I'm the last person. If you know me, it's not. But when I talk about it, I also say, hey, look at your opportunity that you have. Not only do you know where the door is at, not only do you have keys, but someone opened that door and invited you in. And everyone that we talk to in the new head, have a million of these opportunities. And I'm just looking and I'm like, wow, man, you guys are, because the youth is what control the future.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm just looking at it. I'm like, oh man, you guys could dominate everyone. Yeah, the money wasn't the same from ski sponsors like it used to be. But you know how many more opportunity there are now than there used to be? It's just being creative with what opportunities you have.
Yeah. The money part's tough though, dude. Because these guys are we put a ton of energy into this for basically no money. And basically the ads covered the cost of the Zoom subscription. That's pretty much how this
no one thinks we're so dope they want to reach out to us and be like, no way, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everyone we talk to is a superhuman. There are people that have fans that are like, no way I want to be like that person. No way I want to do what that person did. We don't have that shit. So it's just that's the difference in the money, I think, conversation. Because when people want to be part of your life, you'll most people understand it. It's a hard thing, everyone has to deal with their own shit. So when you have people that are doing really amazing shit and they want to be part of your life, or if they can find time out of their life for doing whatever to want to be part of your life, it's something that the majority of humanity does not get. And yes, they get it because of their skill set, But the point is, like everyone's in Aspen for 2 weeks right now. X Games and now the World Cup.
Yeah.
Who gets to go to Aspen to meet the same people that can afford to live there?
The athletes, the support
That's what I'm
teams.
saying. And someone's
Yeah.
paying for them kind of to go and partake and become really cool, whether it's at the restaurant, the person they meet. Just it's about like these cool opportunities that exist every day in these kids' life. And if they listen to it, I just be aware because like you don't have to sell out. You can just talk your passions with as many people as you want, and you're going to end up working and creating dope ass shit with random ass people.
Well, speaking of X Games and speaking of money, it seems like some more money's coming in because this new CEO is a tech bro. You had Sergey Brin handing out medals at X Games. That dude's worth over $100 billion. So
I think I
we'll see
honestly
what's coming
think
down the pike with X Games.
I was just talking to Henrik where I think like because he'd always when he got into it, he's like, "Oh man, this is going to be another golden era." This is like early 2000 teens. And so it wasn't the time, but like I honestly now like seeing where the sport's at, where the events are going, what kind of content people are putting out. Like I think, man, like there's gonna be pipe skiers in 2 years that are making more than the dopest fucking film skier because of Snow League and X Games League.
Yeah.
But you have to remember, anyone that partakes in these, they're gonna like X Games League is gonna have an owner. That owner of you to compete in X Games League is not going to want their talent going and doing stuff, not a competition.
True. Okay, so the new X Games League, it's going to be 4 winter stops and 4 summer stops. And my understanding is that these wealthy owners are going to draft a team of however many men and women from all disciplines, and then they're going to compete in the league as if they're like an NBA team or like an F1 team. F1's probably more proper
It's
comparison.
great. And if you combine it with WWF kind of marketing,
Yeah.
right? Because these are entertainers first and foremost, but they're not F1 drivers, right? So the
Yeah.
F1 driver, his owner, the F1 driver is not going to go drive F1 on any day but game day. So you have like one of these who's advising these owners? You're
I
telling me
have
people
no
with enough
clue, dude.
money actually care about what skiing, snowboarding, skateboarding and do? Like if you have enough to pay salary, healthcare, travel to all events, lodging, that's just one person on their team. Then you have to have technicians and coaches.
Yeah.
So if you're building a team like they keep saying F1, I'm very interested, but it's a great opportunity for someone that wants that contest lifestyle. They deserve it. You should get paid when you fucking go every week and do that. But at the same time, just it's not going to be freestyle. You're going to be a half pipe skier, a slope style skier, a big air skier, and that's what you do.
And you better stay healthy because now you're getting paid, just to exist year round pretty much. I didn't even think about that, dude. These guys are going to be able to film. You got some billionaire owner. He's like,
If I paid for an athlete, I would yell at him and I would fire him if I paid his salary to compete and win for me.
yeah,
Because I own him. He's a product that I
Yeah.
own an asset. If my asset is going to go fucking around, that ruins my bottom line.
this is going to be hilarious, dude.
So I find it interesting, but at the same time, I think it's great. But here's the advice: if it only lasts 1 or 2 years, and a handful of these kids get that opportunity, understand that your opportunity to make a salary like that is beyond belief. Go and invest that shit somewhere.
Yeah.
And then when the league disappears, if it keeps going, awesome. But do it. Then have your money work for you while you're having fun. And so that's, I don't know, my advice, because I don't see it. I just made a list of every event series that happened in our sport over the last 25 years, from like American Free Ski Tours, Paul Mitchell Tours, Vermont Free Ski Opens, like everything. I mean, there was quarter pipe tours around North America and Canada with music. Like there's been all of this and everyone wants to do it, but it's proven X Games is kind of the only one. But
and even they're struggling. I mean, when you go through that many owners and different CEOs, that's you looking for that's you searching for an answer. That's not a sign of tremendous health. That's you trying to figure something out when everything's
and maybe that's like even watching X Games this year. I mean, dude, I watched one finals where there was only 3 competitors.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it
After the
felt like I was
playoffs.
watching a participation award finals.
Yeah.
Like they get to go brag about an X Games medal that they didn't even have to beat someone. Yes, they made it through the pre whatever they call playoffs.
Playoffs. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like, dude, you beat 2 to 4 people in playoffs, and you only had to beat one person to be a medalist. So I was kind of, but I got it. Made great television if you don't know about the sport. It was
Yeah.
faster. It was there. So point being is you can dumb it down to make, but think about football commentary. They are only masters of the obvious. There he is, a 70-yard pass for a touchdown. What retard can't understand that? Right? So if we dumb it down a little bit, our circus entertainers, because does anyone know what a 23 something is?
Yeah.
No
It will be
one.
interesting. I do wonder what the normal folks think when they see X Games on ESPN. You said that all your buddies up in
Evil
Minnesota
Knievel.
hated it because it was interrupting their hockey, but
But it can be done right because it's entertainment, right? So now you got a bunch of evil Knievels. And so now it's just a matter of how you present these dancing monkeys in your circus that you brought to town online. Now it's on Roku. So I got to watch it. I didn't have to go online and Google every second, being like, where can I watch it for free? Do I need a VPN or whatever to watch it on this?
yeah.
So already they are mainstreaming it more than it's ever been mainstreamed. Like I don't know what people think, but I know now all of a sudden if they want to watch this, I mean, we got great entertainment last weekend.
Well, I'll tell you this. So I was working there for the TV crew. We weren't doing interviews this year. We had a two-planker photographer. That was it. Otherwise, I was busy working. But there are a couple things I noticed. First is the crowd was like pathetic compared to recent years, or even compared.
Hey, I heard every day on the internet that it was sold out for the last 2 weeks.
I think it was sold out, but I think selling the sold out was like way, way lower than it was. Like the place felt empty compared to recent years. I don't know if you remember seeing you. I mean, you've probably been to X Games plenty of times, but that big VIP tower they had up at the bottom of the pipe that used to be like 5, 6 stories tall. That is now one. That is now one floor with a bunch of couches in it. It is not. So the VIP element's gone. The crowd's gone. But I'll tell you this: all these TV guys, like you're working with camera guys that have worked the Super Bowl. You're working with all these people that have worked every event under the sun. X Games is still everybody's favorite event. Everybody else in the industry is still jealous that you get to work X Games. So normal people still think X Games is this big sexy thing, but they do have to figure out the money because when you're there, you can tell that it has gone downhill.
And that's why those operators love it because it's
Yeah.
such you work in professional sports or whatever.
Yeah.
There's a time sheet. And if you don't hit it to the exact second, you might not get hired next week. Where X Games are like, bro, you want to come to Aspen?
Yeah.
Sold. How much better is that than Cincinnati?
No, it's great. Yeah, like we go to some. Oh my God! Especially in college football, you're going to some shitty, shitty towns, and then you get put up in Aspen for a week, fully paid for, hanging out.
That's like a holiday for any I mean, and then everyone who's a professional does a great job for probably a fraction of what their value is.
Yeah.
So it's awesome. But I don't know. I think X Games will be I'm making all this up just so everyone knows because I don't talk. You know more than me probably, but as we saw this year, like it doesn't seem that big a deal to get a medal. There's 5 events, right? If Alon Gu won 5 gold medals in one weekend, she'd be the most winning gold medalist ever after only getting her first gold medal 3 years ago.
I don't even think she won any, which is kind of crazy twist.
No, she didn't. But that's my point, though. It's like this new opportunity. It's kind of like when boxing, after Mike Tyson, all of a sudden there was, I think, like 12 boxing leagues in the world, and they all had title of heavyweight champion.
Yeah.
It's almost diluted what the reward means if there's no financial reward, and the medal count almost doesn't matter anymore because of the addition of this shit.
Yeah.
But I had to hear about the medal count through the commentators every 30 seconds. But I was like, yo, you could win 5 golds this weekend.
Yeah.
It was like, do you know how long it took to make 5 gold when there was only Aspen before Euro X?
Yeah. True. I'd be interested to see what the total medal counts are. I think A-Hall's getting up there now with who's got the most right now.
But you know what I want to talk about too, since we're recording this?
Yeah.
I am 100% anti. First of all, I was so stoked on the two Italians. Up yourself for fucking putting the country on the map. But you should not be allowed to wear a national team outfit at a private event. And I'm sorry, man. Like those people, I know they're from Italy more than I know their names. They're gold medalists. Like unless they're getting paid by all those patches on their jacket and the Italian team, like country on the back, and same with the Chinese girl in half pipe. Like get that shit out of here.
Yeah.
And it's no disrespect to the athletes because, dude, you guys fucking killed it. Big up yourselves. But I wish I knew your name and not that you were Italian. Because
True.
that's more important as who you are and the efforts that you guys put into this motherfucking sport.
Facts. Yeah, the team jackets are kind of whack. Look like a NASCAR athlete with all the patches all over it. Pretty lame.
Big up Nick Gapper.
Big up Nick Gepper. Big up Nick Gepper. We'll save who we want to get for season 2 in a little bit, while we're still unpacking season 1. But big up Nick Gepper. That was crazy.
Sorry for the X Games tangent. It was just happened 2 days ago, so that's why we're going off.
Yeah,
on
we're
that.
fresh on it. All right, who was your favorite new head from season 1?
Wish I had the list. You know what? I'm going to look at the list quick because it's
Yeah,
going to stick.
look at the list real quick. And it doesn't even.
I forget Josh is an old head.
Do we include the new heads that are in their 30s, or are those mid heads? We don't know. But you can interpret
no.
favorite. You can interpret favorite any way you want.
Fucking called Una a fucking new head.
We called a lot of older guys new heads.
They are. If they do another fucking 10, 15 years like some of these older guys, I am going to go, fuck, dude. Between Mango, Ferdy, and Una.
Dude, Ferdy was my favorite.
I'm going to just say all three of those guys because, like, first of all, like, the fact he's been in the game for, like, 10 plus years and he's still so young and he's so fucking awesome. And every time he pops up, like, I'm blown away and he's just a good human.
Yeah.
He's like one of these good humans that just exists and happens to have talent. And then we get to experience it. And then fucking Mango, just because I'd say he's the most different out of every new head, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's also, he's probably the only guy who's fly fishing right now out of all the new heads, and everyone else might be skiing today. So his perspective on everything was pretty awesome to me. And then Ferdy, I guess I just look at him as such a young guy that wants to do more. And so that's why I'll give Ferdy, I guess, the top pull, because normally you don't do more until you need to. And he's putting stuff on his plate when he doesn't need to at all. And he could have lived a certain life and just gone a contest way, filmed for some people. But the extra fucking shit he puts on his plate, it's fucking awesome.
Yeah, I think Ferdy kind of represents the philosophy of the show. If the philosophy of this show is do more, excuse me, not Una. Ferdy kills it. Like, he's got so much shit on his plate, it's crazy, and he's changing the game. And he was our number 2 most viewed episode. So I think other people agree that he's got something interesting going on that people want to know about. And I love it. I love it, man.
Who was your favorite old head?
The old heads. Well, I mean, Tanner was a riot, but I've been knowing about Tanner and how wild he is. I think my favorite of the old heads was B-Dog, just because I didn't understand B-Dog for the longest time, you know? Like, I feel like...
No, I don't know. What do you mean? What was your preconceived thought?
Well, for me, like, when I was growing up, like, one of the first the biggest X Games memory I ever have is Henrik doing the nose butter triple. Like,
Okay.
that would... Me in middle school, I was like, this dude's the dopest shit ever. So for me, my entire childhood, Henrik was taking up all the spotlight, you know? And then B-Dog was kind of just like also in his world, but I was like, oh, whatever, that's just Henrik's friend. And
Yeah.
I guess I never went back and realized how dope he was. And everyone's like, oh, B-Dog's my favorite skier, B-Dog's my favorite skier. And I was like, okay, this guy must be pretty sick. And then when I finally sit down to talk to him, I think at the end of the show, I was like, I get it now. Like, this guy is...
That's so
special.
funny. So all the way until now, you've always thought of B-Dog as Henrik's little friend?
not, I mean, I knew that he was big in his own way, but I just never appreciated it because I just never went back and, I missed probably 10 years of content as it was coming out. So at that point, when I finally started paying attention again after college, it was like old
Okay.
news. But Phil was
Okay.
awesome, and I want to have him back on for part 2 because we only got up to like 2017, and we got to get the rest of it, man. That's 7 more years of shit going on, and he never stops.
No.
Yeah,
Since we've talked, man, so much shit he's done.
yeah.
Crazy.
But let me look at the list of the other old heads, because Phil ain't that old.
He's 34.
Dude, I don't know. Joss was sick. They were all sick. Mosley, how epic was it that we got Mosley on?
That was my favorite old head, just because that was me being a dorked out little kid and just being like, no fucking way I get to talk to this guy. Like, dude, do you remember when he was on Hearts, dude? Do you remember when your hair looked like a mohawk? Woo! It was fucking awesome.
I got more text about that episode than anything, just because I loved, and everybody else loved that you knew more about his timeline than he did. And
But
you're
that's
like, no, no,
with
no.
all these athletes. Like all these athletes are such in the moment. Like my ski life, like everything is the moment. So it's like a timestamp on my whole life in skiing. So I'm like, oh, that's where I was doing this and that happened in skiing. And like even like what VHS player I used to record the '94 Olympics, and then I borrowed who is VHS player to record just a bit the aerials. So it's like, but it's really fun. Like all these guys, like Tanner doesn't remember much timelines, and then like
Yeah.
most people don't. Like even Phil is like, what the fuck, Casaubon, and he's a young guy and he don't remember his timeline. But
Yeah.
it's just, whew, I'm only thinking about a trick. And then you do a trick, you're traveling all over the world, but you're still thinking about getting that trick. You get it, and you didn't even know you traveled the world for 2 weeks.
Yeah. Nah, these guys are awesome. Dude, I think this is my guess just based on the feedback I got. I think of the old head listeners, I think the core ones really loved the Mick D episode that we closed out season 1 with. I got so much positive feedback about that. People loved hearing from Mikkel.
He's
And
the
there,
illest.
and there were questions that we didn't even ask him. I got some wild viewer questions afterwards that they want to know.
Can't imagine. Oh, did you like? I mean, yeah, that was like.
They were asking about a tattoo of his that we didn't ask him about.
Which one?
Somebody said they had his dick is tattooed.
I believe it. Yeah, like he was super goth, like for fucking. After he was Rasta, then he was gangster,
Then he was goth.
and then that was a wild period of his life.
Talk about style
I don't
master.
even know if we got into that part.
Nah, I mean there was so much to get into. That could have been an 8-hour episode, but he was off the lean, which somebody rightly corrected us on the Spotify comments. They said that lean poured into your 40 is called a Ron Burgundy. So somebody can fact check that one for us.
Yeah, what? That's so funny. I've never heard that in my life.
I never heard that either.
One lean being poured into. I never heard of a lean being poured into a 40 until that visual.
No, I don't really roll in those circles, truthfully, where people are dumping leans and 40s. But it was cool. It was cool to temporarily be in that world. Interviewing.
No, but I've seen him in the rap videos poured into a Sprite.
So after we finished recording season 1, I went to Costa Rica and I was showing all my buddies Guatemalan Persuader. I didn't realize that Mick D had a little rap session at the end. Yeah.
Oh yeah. The whole thing. Tanner has the best. Like his song is so like maybe Tanner's best song of his career is.
It was so funny. It was too good.
And I love Sarah Burke's intro. Like they had the little kid go up to Sarah and be like, "Damn, bitch, you got some big old titties." And it's like it's an 8-year-old that they just told to walk up to her and say that in the lift line, like in Breckenridge. It was awesome.
Let's do a quick little story time. What's the deal with Guatemalan Persuader? Like, why was that movie made? Because it's so different from anything that's ever come out. And there's also another one that I haven't
Have you
seen.
watched Burger Time?
I have not watched Burger Time yet.
So Burger Time was put out in 2000. This is put out by Mercon Industries, which was Nick Mercon, who was a pro skier who like podiumed at like X Games and US Open and shit. He was the shit from Indiana. He's the original Indiana skier, X Games kid. And then also they filmed along with the Michigan crew, which was Greg Tuffelmeyer and Colin, now known as Omar Ote.
The Booze Boys, which if anyone wants to go back, they could listen to Giving Flowers. Great episode with the Booze Boys.
So they fucking all moved out to Copper. And they just had, there's this whole Midwest transplant of like Michigan and Indiana and just like fucking give her new school freestyle, like did some moguls, and then they filmed it and made the weirdest shit you've ever seen in your whole life. And they did that in 2000. Then they were everywhere. And when you're everywhere, you're with everyone, right? Powder Super Park, Freeze Parkosaurus. Everyone's at the same events. US Open Vail, Whistler for WSI. So everyone's together. So then after their first movie, they're like, fuck it, let's just film for 2 years. And that movie, it came out in 2003. And it might be the best representation of a whole year of every named skier who was a named skier. Yeah. They're in that fucking movie. And then like, I just was talking to Turpin right before he called. Like even his little skit where he fucking like falls on the scooter or something, or on a skate.
Smashes his face, yeah.
That's his face is the cover of the whole ski movie.
Yeah. So what did you guys think when it dropped though? Because the music is ridiculous. Like it's like basically it's a normal ski movie. Like the skiing's pretty much normal with all these, and then all the skits and all the music is what sets it apart from everything else. So what did you guys think when it dropped?
We're entertained. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Like to see that, like, and watch everyone's stuff. Like you got to watch all your friends. So then all of a sudden it's like a yearbook kind of movie for the small circle of people that did twin tip skiing in North America. And then you knew everyone. So if there was a skit like Chompy, the fucking goat that's shitting on Rory's face.
Yeah.
Like he bought a goat on their way to Freeze Super Park at June it was at June. And then they bought it on the side of the road to Colorado, brought it and just like had it around in diapers the whole event. They even got it a credential, named him Chompy. And then so everyone in skiing knew who Chompy was because Chompy was at fucking Parkosaurus. Chompy was all up in the fucking Freeze magazine in the Parkosaurus issue. And then all of a sudden, so it was kind of one of these funny things where it's just like, it was a yearbook.
Yeah.
And like every skit that was in that movie was actually the character of that kind of person, and you knew him, and you could laugh.
Yeah. What was whatever ended up happening to Chompy? What was Chompy's finale?
I don't know. It's a great question. I'll find out.
I hope something not bad. You think they ate him?
I don't know. No, I think they gave him away to a farmer or something.
That shit's epic. That's epic. Yeah, I feel like speaking of that movie, notable opener Glenn Plake. I feel like we got to have him on season 2. I've gotten many requests for that. What are your thoughts right off the rip about having Glenn Plake on this show?
It would be fun and interesting because he's like someone I don't think I could learn anything new about because he's the guy who's on half of my bedroom walls.
Yeah.
And so I look at, and then I just watched 2 interviews with him that are retarded, like in Italy, about his new lawn ski or boot. Just like I watch everything still to this day. So I'm always stoked. He's the most hyped human. He'll laugh 50,000 times. Maybe we do a drinking game where you have to take a shot every time he laughs. So no, I'd be stoked. Glenn is one of the nice, like, he got me to ride a motorcycle the first time in my life. I went to Super Park and I met him. He's like, hey, you ride motorcycles? I'm like, no. He's like, you want to try mine? Yeah. So first time I ever rode a motorcycle, I rode what is the big one? A 450, a dirt bike. It's like 150, 254. I don't know. But he had the and they got like a hill climb and it's all sand turns and mammoth. But I would have never rode a motorcycle if it wasn't for Glenn Plake because I was just like, fuck yeah, I'll do anything you tell me.
Yeah, I'd love to have him on. Yeah, I'm looking through our list of our season 1 folks and just going back, thinking through some stuff. Ran into Owen at X Games. I already gave you this update, but we think the next browser's coming out in February. So everybody keep an eye out for that. We got the old head, new head full page ad in there.
Big things are happening.
Yep. Who else? I don't know, man. It was just all the people that had other projects going on. Owen, Joss, B-Dog always. Chris Ben Shetler, talk about being busy.
There's someone that like, yeah, he was pretty much like, I don't know, since knowing him when he was a little kid and then like seeing what he's done, like, dude, I was looking, he's had a pro model with Atomic since 2008. Like, and you just look at that. I mean, that's what, 12, 17 years, 16 years? I don't know, but
17, yeah.
I don't know, just shit that, and then all the stuff he does more, where you're just like, no way. And then he's such a good human, where you're just like, yeah, big guy, do it. And every time, yeah, if you guys don't follow Chris Ben Shetler, go follow him. He's putting out some crazy movie with Grateful Dead people and lighting, and it's pretty fucked up looking.
I feel like some of the core audience sleeps on Chris because like everyone knows about Chris. Your parents know about Chris. It's like a lot. Like his videos go big on Facebook, you know. But Chris has been around forever. Like Chris came up in the community, and he's doing big shit. So Chris is one of us, whether you like it or not. He's a good dude.
Oh yeah, dude. He was a K2. He's a Public Enemy guy. He was like rolling with Fuhas the first couple of years, like when Fuhas was just on next level shit. Like he was rolling with Phil Bellinger before Fuhas.
Yeah.
And Sarah. Like, yeah, he's been around.
Dude, yeah, we love Chris. All right. Let's see what else I got for you. We went through favorite guests. Give everybody the little backstory on the intro because we never addressed the intro music and it's so funny.
Okay, so the intro is just fun because I was like, fuck, like because recording this is easy, talking about skiing is easy.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, if you do something like you could do a graphic, but then I'm like, because Phil and I always talked about doing some kind of fun intro to Giving Flowers, and we never made one happen.
Yeah.
And so I have a friend named White Blacks. That's originally from Utah. He lives in Florida now. I know him through reggae dancehall music, and he's a beat producer. And I know his wife does his intro. So she always taglines his beats with her voice, like you're listening to a White Blacks beat or whatever. So I was like, all right, we got a woman's voice. We got someone to make a beat. And I'm like, old head, new head. And I'm like, all right, like if I'm going to give my opinion as an old person should be hate on the young kids. So I need to be like, goddamn kids. And then I was like, how do I get my kid involved? And then I asked both. My daughter said no. And then my son did a one take and fucking murdered it.
So that's
it was an awesome collaboration. White Blacks, his wife, give thanks for the beats. Fucking my kid for the shut up old man. And you for the awesome graphic.
Yeah, the graphic totally inspired by the oh my god, now Pen and Pixel, the old school rap albums. I was like, okay, if we're doing a show and the show is the way it is with the 3 DPH and the 40s and the van and everything, I'm like, it's got to be over the top. And I think we knocked it out of the park in both regards with the graphic.
I was stoked. If we were a rap group, we could have been signed to Cash Money in 2000.
I know, it would have been sick. It would have been sick if there was some money coming in here. So here's the question though: do we roll with that for season 1, our graphic and intro, or do we switch it up?
I think it's dope. I don't want to use
it's so dope. I
can't top it unless you got something. But once
I'll play around with the graphic, but I love the graphic so much that I almost don't want to. I don't want to change
it. Some Wheatleys, you got a fucking OE40, you got fucking a little Inspire thing in the back. You got your van or truck or whatever.
Got the money, got Mount Hood in the background. Yeah, it's good shit. Yeah. Okay, and also to address the most common complaint, people complain about the audio issues. We'll never be able to fix the guest audio issues because they're tuning into us from wherever. We can't give them a mic, but Iberg will have a mic for season 2. We'll make it happen.
Yes. So just so everyone knows, my philosophy in life is I just do things rather than say, well, I can't because I don't have something. So I might have been not willing to invest money into a microphone, but I was willing to invest my time in talking. So that's why I don't give a fuck. But we'll figure out some way to give a little fuck if it bothers you that much.
Yep. Yeah. And I mean, we've definitely heard the feedback about the quality, but it's like if this show wasn't basically free to make other than invested time, this shit wouldn't happen. If me and Iberg had to be in the same city in a studio with really nice mics going bomb hole style on it, flying people out, hell no. This you guys
I couldn't imagine, man. It'd be so fun. It'd be so fun,
would be
but like,
awesome.
there's no way. Like, and then to have another like the time and the money would just be out of hand.
Nah, it'd be crazy. It'd be craziness.
Ooh,
All right,
wait. Well, I got one doobie to finish this awesome fucking.
yeah.
So I think we should do a season 2.
I think we will
So
do season 2, but this time, and this might break some hearts of the new heads, we're just going for maximal entertainment value on season 2. We're not going to do the alternating form, I think, next year.
the new heads aren't entertaining.
No, I think they are, but this is the thing. The old heads, their stories told, so it's so easy to. It's like It's like a claw machine. It's like, oh, I know this person's got good stories. Whoop, swoop them up, bring them in. With the new heads, it's a lot of unknown territory. You know.
But hey, also reach out to me or Ethan if you got some shit to say.
Yeah,
Because
do
I
a little pitch.
like it's not necessarily like I try to fucking stay updated to things and I try to do whatever, but I can't be everywhere. But like if you guys have suggestions, but the biggest goal I think is great conversation about just what that person's doing, right? Or what their opinion is. So if you guys have something to say or you want to fucking just go nuts on skiing, like stoked, man, let's talk. You
Yeah.
got something you're doing, like, because I know there's a bunch of people out there in skiing that give their life to it, and we might not know about who they are, might not never know who they are, but they're still doing it as much as you and I.
Exactly. I feel like
let
that
us
sums it
know.
up well. Like, yeah, our guest selection is limited by what Ibergen and I know about these people. So obviously, everyone knows what the old heads did because their story's already told. So if you got a new head, if you are a new head or you know a new head that's up to some really sick shit, and we haven't already had them on, and you feel like they're not on our radar, let us know because we don't
Yeah, but
know.
also
We don't know what we
man,
don't
like,
know.
they got, like that. There's people that are awesome at what they do, but I really want to, like, everyone's complaining, oh, Iberg cuts people off. Iberg cuts people off. Shut the fuck up. It's because I have something to say. Now, if you notice, Tanner cut me off more than I cut him off. And so what I'm saying that is like, when you have something to say or a question you really want to ask, sometimes you can't hold it back. I want to fucking meet some new people like this. I want to fucking battle and cut each other off because that's in my true friend circles. That's kind of how we work because we're so excited about whatever we're doing or whatever we want to tell the answer to first. So I apologize if that's my downfall for you guys as listeners, but this is more for my ego to do this, to get it on record so we can have these awesome people that are part of our sport have their opinions logged somewhere in this universe and have a conversation like no one else will have for people's entertainment. So, yeah, I just do it.
I don't even think that's for your ego. That's for the sake of the sport. That's because you love the sport so much and you just want this. You want this shit on record.
I guess ego because I feel like I don't put enough in because I don't look at it as a business. So I look at it as my privilege to give it, because the most valuable thing in life is time. So if every person was giving us 3 to 6 hours of their life to talk about skiing with you and I, like that's kind of being, I'm taking away their time for something I don't pay them for. Maybe we don't have distribution numbers that are getting them better sponsor deals next year. So my ego is taking away people that are the best at what they do in life to come just bullshit with us while I smoke and drink. So that's why I say ego.
Yeah. And and numbers wise, should we talk about our numbers? Should we talk about some numbers?
Well, I have no idea. Yeah, you should talk about them because I don't know what numbers mean. But I do know if anyone listened to our whole shows from beginning to end, pick up yourself.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's crazy hours of content. But season 1, like as we stand right now, we're at like 50,000 streams on this, which I think is pretty good for a podcast. So I challenge any other podcaster to show your hand. I think we got the biggest.
What does that mean?
Though,
50,000 streams. Is that on all platforms combined?
That's on all platforms that I can see stats for. I get like an estimate from Spotify, and then I can see the hard YouTube numbers. And I think the Spotify numbers are across all the distribution to like Apple Podcasts and all that. But 50K, if you want, so if you're a sponsor, you want to get 50,000 people that'll listen, for 3 hours at a time. Hit us up.
And if And you know they buy ski stuff.
Yeah. I actually met, shout out this kid, I even know this kid's last name. I was at X Games, ran into this kid, Phoenix. I didn't say a word to him. He just recognized me right off the rip. I did have my two planker sweatshirt on. He goes, "Yo, what up, Ethan?" I'm like, "Oh, what's up, dude?" He's like, "I love your show. I love Old Head New Head. I've listened to every single episode." Kid was
Famous
like,
dog.
kid was like a late teenager. So we got old heads listening. We got new heads listening to every single episode. It's great. We love our listeners. This is great
Dude,
shit.
my highlight from the show repercussions, I went up to Quebec City to Le Relais for D-Structure's 25th anniversary party of being a shop, like the first week of November. So like it was all ages from like 3 to fucking 80 of people that have been supporting the ski world and Phil Bellinger and D-Structure. And dude, I met so many like hardcore kids under 18. They're like, "Hey, you're Eric Iberg from the podcast." And to me, like all the other old people, I made movies with them, created like camps for all these kids. You know, like say Jakob Bellinger, right? Kid that like was a New Schooler Award winner. He
Yeah.
grew up beside Phil Bellinger. So I've known him since he was 2. So, but he was old. So he knew about whatever, but he's an old 22-year-old. And
Yeah.
every young kid only knew me from just this podcast. It's fucking awesome.
Dude, you're having your Mosley
But a lot of
experience.
shit in skiing.
You're turning it into just the voice on Old Head New Head. They don't know about the movies. They don't know about anything. They just know that you're an old guy that talks to people on a podcast.
It's true. It's so fun to think. Like, would you ever listen to a podcast of someone that you don't even have a clue what their background is or where they came from?
Dude,
Like,
I don't know. I mean, it depends on the guest, but I think if people are listening to any guest we'll have on, we love them and we appreciate them because that's sick. The amount, and honestly, it makes it worth it for all the time. We put so much time into this damn thing. Even like before it even came out, like all the pre-production stuff we did, we recorded like most of this series before even a single episode, before a single piece of positive feedback came in. We were
that
making
was the only episode we recorded after the season launched.
was Mikkel, yeah. Yeah. So we put in all this work without knowing how anybody would receive it, but this is what I'll say though. When I was at Mount Hood and I was telling people what was going on, I knew it was gonna be big. And they're like, "Holy shit, you talked to Tanner for 4 hours and 20 minutes?" It's like, yeah. And they're like, "Damn, I can't wait to listen."
Dude, he's a great person. Like, I just hope that he can figure out one day to do alternate audio for live stream events. And if he can do that, and like we can have Tanner Hall comment, because no one will hire him.
Yeah.
So it's just like, dude, do it yourself. And if you can do that, man, I would watch every World Cup with Tanner Hall fucking commentating.
Why do you think that Tanner was our number one episode? What do you think it is? What do you think that he taps into that everyone wants to hear?
He's real. And since he's real, people have an opinion on that. So, like, how many people think he's off his rocker, or he's crazy, or I can't believe he thinks that?
Yeah.
And so, like, everyone has different thoughts. So, how many people just shut the fuck up rather than having them? And so, he's someone that's always like put himself out there, and like he did, like same as myself. I don't give a fuck. Like, if you have an opinion about us or something, like, you haven't met me or you haven't met Tanner. So it's like when you meet someone or listen to someone like that, they don't care.
Yeah.
But they do, but they care more than anyone else in the world. They care more about the sport than anyone else, and they care more about themselves than anyone else, because that's what you need to do in life, right? Self-care, mental care, fucking better yourself every day when you're fucking down and you could go cry in the corner and be like, why has God always break my ankles and break my legs and blow out my knees and cause fucking drug addiction rehab? Wham! The kid's so fucking dope. You know, and so when you get to see that, and then you still get to judge him, and he allows you to judge him. He puts himself out there so much. Like, I'm looking at YouTube comments, they're like, dude, you sound drunk, Tanner. And I'm like, yo, are you a troll or is this real life? I don't know, but either way, it's making someone have an opinion about him that doesn't affect his tomorrow.
Love him or hate him, you watched. That's what it comes down to. You can't look
Exactly.
away.
Kind of like hoping, like, it's kind of crazy because I think everyone's been hoping and watching and waiting for this downfall of Tanner Hall for the last 13 years. And it just doesn't ever happen, and he just keeps bettering himself. And it's really nuts if you just watch him from 2012 till now.
Yeah.
Like there are so many years everyone's like, he's gonna do this. Like even me, not I wasn't hoping for it, but I was so scared that he was gonna crash in Alaska or something because his judgment wasn't there.
Yeah.
So everyone gets to watch the train wreck, and now it hasn't crashed, and everyone's just so confused.
Sorry, I was at a hotel right now, and the housekeeping came in, and they're asking what's up. I'm in Taos, New Mexico right now, by the way, new location.
Warmer than Minnesota.
Yeah, Tanner's dope. I'm actually to pivot this conversation. I'm in New Mexico right now. We've just finished up X Games, doing a little skiing real quick, and then tomorrow I'm flying out to Jib League. I'm gonna go see what this shit's all about in person.
Where's that?
It's gonna be in Innsbruck.
Oh damn, you going foreign?
Yeah, we're going foreign. It's gonna be a 3-hour flight to San Francisco and then a 12-hour flight to Munich. So I got a long day ahead of me.
So are you jibbing or what are you doing there?
No. So I hit up Woodsy this fall. I don't know what happened. I got inspired. Maybe it was because I was editing this podcast or what. But I hit him up out of the blue. I'm like, yo, you guys need more media around Jib League. You need it. I need to hear what's going on behind the scenes. And he's like, oh, nice idea. You're the guy for it. So I'm going out there. We're going to do, here's our announcement. We're going to do Jib League Radio. And I think the current understanding of it is we're going to give a little behind the scenes, little Sports Center style recap of what's going on. And yeah, just add a little bit more media to the Jib League
Video
universe.
or is it audio?
It's gonna be a video and audio. So as I understand it, we're going to distribute the video on the Jib League channel, which I believe is the Slush channel, and we'll put the audio only version on the Two Planker feed. And yeah, everyone will get a little behind the scenes of Jib League, find out what's going on with the amateurs that are moving to the pro session. Woodsy will host it. I'm gonna be behind the scenes, just producing the whole thing, helping us stay on the tracks. Should be pretty
How
good.
many jib leagues are there this year?
There's 2 Jib League stops this year. One in Innsbruck at a resort that I can't remember what it is. Some resort. It's called like Mux or something. Some funny ass name. And then there's the US one is going to be in April at Copper. So
Nice.
2 stops, €1, 1 American. The Euro stop looks like it's going to be fun. I have some Euro friends hitting me up. Shout out
Is
Mox.
there a limit on how many people they allow to enter?
No. Well, there's a limit on how many people move through to the pro session.
I'm just thinking Hopper is going to have like 10,000 people sign up.
Oh, it's going to have 1 million. But it's an open. You know, anybody can show up, anybody can compete. I forget what Woodsy said. I thought Woodsy was saying like 12 will move through to the pro session for men, and then women, depending on how many show up, they're going to pick how many move through to the pro session.
I'm just thinking Phil does the B-Dog in Minnesota. We'll have like 135 there. And then it's not judging. And not just that, but I'm just like, fuck, man. Like, that's 135 from Minnesota. Copper's got to be able to pull like 500 people with heads up that they could go and compete and ski with these kids.
Well, last year, it'll be interesting to see how like what the amateurs do for accommodation, because last year they were at Snow Bowl at Tahoe in the middle of winter, where there's like no camping. You know, you get like, what are you gonna do at Tahoe in the middle of winter? There's 10 feet of snow everywhere. So, so
no, this year, like you can be ghetto and beat Denver.
exactly. Yeah, if you really want to go crazy, or you like everybody just all chips in and gets a spot in like the Silverthorne area, you know, it's gonna be. I think the Copper one is gonna be a ton of people from all over. You had Canadians driving down to Snow Bowl last year.
Yeah, no, location's horrible. Like the snowball is dope, but location wise for accommodation for people to participate,
tough competition. But it's gonna be sick. So I'll be out at the Copper one too. We're gonna see what's going on, but I'll be able to report back to you and to the others what it's actually like on the ground as somebody that's not competing, somebody that's just behind the scenes. See what's up, and I'll also hopefully do a little social media. So I'll try to. If you guys want to see anything in particular from Jib League, I'm gonna try to get this episode out before Jib League even starts. But yeah, hit me up. Let me know what you want to see behind the scenes, because
nice. And if you're in Minnesota, since this is coming out in February, or the Midwest, we got a B-Dogs event at Wild Mountain Saturday, March 1st. So lots of money Phil gives out there.
How was the last B-Dog event? I remember we promoted that on his episode, and then Time flies. Now happening.
Video contest or the actual
Oh
physical?
shit, we had both. We had the video and the in person.
Yeah. No, he's been killing it, man. Like the video contest was all time. I think we just talked about it. We're trying to figure out a way to do a legends category winner takes all and a season category winner takes all, and then have the people that enter vote on the winner and vote on the winner. And so, yeah, the goal is to break the video contest in year 2 into legends. So someone like Tom Wallish could upload a 90-second edit for the next decade because he has enough footage to make 90-second dope ass street parts, right?
Yeah.
So the idea behind the legend contest, if we pull it off, is people that have put work into the streets for their career have an outlet now to enter every single year, and you just can't use footage you used previous in the B-Dog event. And then the yearly event, we'll make the announcement, and then it'll be you can only use footage from this year. So that'll be kind of the more up-and-comers that will want to do it. So, and then they vote on themselves. So that's awesome. Then his event in Shawinigan after Christmas with all the Quebec's best skiers and best snowboarders. That fucking went off awesome. Like Shawinigan stoked. Like the skiers, like the live stream was awesome. His brother does it all pretty much for nothing. So we have like a super professional live stream that got to run. We ran that on the B&E store. And then Minnesota event next, March 1st. And fucking looks like it should be super fun. Show up. They got a new park builder at Wild Mountain this year. And he is fucking going nuts. He came from Sun Valley the last 5 years. And he brought a whole team with him. So if you're in Minnesota, man, go check out Wild. Fucking awesome.
Big stuff going on in the Midwest. And of course,
and you could have fucking B-Dogs, the Bark and Bite video game on Steam. Hopefully a demo available late spring. So if you're on the Steam engine and you game on there, Bark and Bite, B-Dog Bark and Bite should be a demo out soon.
That's awesome. Where does the prize money come from for the B-Dog Off the Leash video contest?
Video is all out of his pocket this year.
That's
so it's kind of like one of those things where it's like, and this is a great investing in himself because it was like, I came to him and I said, yo, Phil, like this is what you do as a job, right? Like we've heard, like I heard from Mango, like no one wants to do these events that are for urban, but like, why not just do a best of your all-time footage? So it's all footage everyone has in their banks already, in their computers, have an event, and then we just host it, right? Like we did it on the Destructure website for voting. So people that voted got emails. So then Destructure got email addresses. Phil got to upload their videos on his YouTube. So then now, dude, if you go to Phil's YouTube account, you have people that aren't Phil that have videos on his most viewed video account. So he gets to use his platform. If you're like, oh, on YouTube, I love Phil Kasbaum. Oh, that's his channel? Like Ferdy has the second or third most views of all of Phil's fucking edits ever. So it's like this cool thing that like we figured out like the trade-offs for everyone. And so Phil was like, it was an investment in himself. He's like, all right, I'll give $5,000 and give that to the overall winner. And then the fan, then the golden dog, he bought a golden dog and that was his personal favorite. So it didn't like take away attention. Like someone say, oh, he only liked that you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Be angry about a fucking statue. You could about 5,000, and now we had adapted because last year it was fan favorite gave the money to the winner, and we'll evolve where people who enter the contest will now vote for the winner, and they're the only people. So I think that's the best way to do the sport.
Yeah, the fan vote, or no, excuse me, not the fan vote. The rider vote is seems to work for Jib League. We'll see if it works for the video contest.
And imagine if you get to watch an edit for a month straight, right? Like if you're watching all those 64 edits on a playlist on YouTube and you were one of them, because for sure most of the competitors are watching the other guy's videos. Yeah. So now you're a judge. And then you know what's hard. And only your opinion matters because none of the people that judged you before could do that shit.
So
we'll see. Gotta evolve it, keep it going. So now we'll try like the next year. The goal is like it wouldn't be a sustainable thing for Phil. So Monster has come on board to help out with the whole off the leash series. So the 4 events he runs throughout the year, and then his other sponsors as well have been helping out a little bit.
That's
for the coming year.
That's tight. Speaking of sponsors, if anybody knows a drink sponsor that wants to sponsor the show, I will happily drink whatever beer we're sponsored to drink.
Well, I just say, like, if we really care, we should just go, like, to Milwaukee and who makes the fucking OE 40s. And then just, like, we go and we just fucking, like, it'd be the easiest sell.
If they're paying, I'll drink them and I'll love them. But like, I'd
Well,
rather have
like,
just
how
like
many,
a nice beer.
how many people drink fucking Red Bull or Monster out of their Red Bull or Monster water bottles?
See, that's some behind the scenes they don't know about. Those things are full of water during competition most of the time.
That's my point. I mean, 50 Cent owns fucking liquor companies and he only fucking walks around with champagne glasses filled with ginger ale.
Yeah.
Y'all retarded. So, point being is, if you really need to, I'm sure you could put some apple juice in it.
Okay, true. Pour up a nice Rainier. Rainier's my number one. If I could get it, anybody know? Maybe I'll hit up Parker White. He's sponsored by Rainier. I'll see what's going on with him.
There you go. Like, you could get probably cases. Like, you could just be drunk for free.
Yeah, but if anybody wants to promote something, hit us up. Maybe we'll be able to work out something. But at the end of the day, Iberg and I are just doing this for the love of it, not for the money. So if you want to give us something to drink, give us something to drink. Iberg got something to smoke all season. I need something to drink all season.
Word up. I need both, though.
Yeah. What do the people in your life when the 3 DPH? Has anybody asked you about the 3 DPH?
Whoa.
No one's been like, yo, Iberg, you kind of smoke a lot on that show.
That's all I've got. But at the same, everyone who knows me, it's just kind of like Guatemalan persuader where you're like, all right.
This is who he is. Yeah.
So.
Sick. All right. We'll close it out with who's your dream guest for season 2?
Dream guest, Ahmet Dadali.
Word.
I'm just right. Like, this is what I'm saying, guys. I want opinions. Okay. I have my own. You should have your own. And that's how I'm going to end this podcast. It is okay to have your own opinion. Have it, but love the other person's opinion and listen to theirs too. Because if y'all just think you should sound the same, look the same, do that shit, it's fucking boring as hell. So that's why I met him at number 1 for next year, because I have a feeling he's got some opinions.
I have a suspicion that he has some opinions, yes. I think if we can get Clayton Villa on this show, I would be pretty.
I would love that too.
That'd be sick. That'd be sick. So anybody, if you want to put a nice little word with Clayton, let us know. Ahmet, I'm sure Ahmet will be down. I'm sure it's going to take no convincing to get Ahmet on here.
You know,
and
who
then,
knows?
of course, Candide's our number 1 Hall of Fame. Try to get him any means possible, but
I don't know. I don't think he likes talking. Like, I mean, same with Pollard, right? I would love to talk with him, but I know he's not Pollard's a very good talker, though. But English is second language for Candide, so that's the only thing different, maybe, if he has deep opinions. Yeah. Sometimes you get bummed on not being able to say your opinion properly in a second language. Yeah. So because I interviewed him for Like a Lion for Tanner's movie. And it was but that was also 15 years ago.
Yeah.
So.
Candide.
But also, you know who I'd like as an old dad? I'd like Yoon Olsen. Because I see whatever hustle he's doing right now in Europe, like slanging. It looks like he's getting into vlogs, he's building ski hills in his yard for his kids. He looks pretty interesting nowadays, that Yoon Olsen.
Especially the shit that Mick D talked about him on the last episode. We got to give him a chance to come back in and give his opinion.
I don't know if I think I would love to. Once again, I'd love an opinion, but some people don't keep their opinions private to make sure judgment doesn't happen. True. That's why we love Mikael and Tanner so much. They're not really worried about their opinions affecting their future.
I'll say this: the Mikael episode did not have the widespread popularity that Tanner's episode did, but the true fans of the sport loved the Mick episode.
Well, it's because Mikael's not relevant. So you have to think about how unrelevant he is and still had that much polarization, right?
Yeah.
He hasn't skied forever. Tanner still fucking charges.
Yeah.
He should be that famous after fucking having a pro model for 23 years. And I don't know. It's amazing people even are interested. So Mikael's character still today, if you didn't know who he was, you're fucking interested who he is today. Just as much we are all impressed by him back in the day being the skeeziest motherfucker in the world.
Oh, he was ridiculous, dude. I loved it. Loved
Ridiculous.
it. That was such a great way to close out season 1. He was awesome. All right, that I think that's good. Eric Pollard, if you know, send if anyone's listening to this and you want Pollard on the show, hit him up. Be like, come on, Pollard, come on the show. We want to hear you. Give him a little nudge because Iberg already tried to give him a nudge, and what did he tell you? He just says, "Not my thing,
Just
no
no.
thanks." He said no.
I don't. No, I don't do podcasts. So
Let's
I
see if
always
we
do
can change
that,
that.
man. You know who could be fun too? Who the fuck? I was just thinking, Hood locals, Griffin Cummings and Josh Frazier. They're the guys who invented the solution twin tip that you'd screw on the back of your skis in the mid
Oh
'90s.
yeah, that'd be funny.
They would have some opinions on where the sport went, and I
Yeah,
think they would be awesome.
they'd be sick. So we'll get a variety of names, and season 2 will happen. It'll probably be 16 episodes again because that's perfect. 1 episode a week for 4 months straight. 4 times 4, 16.
It's us to Christmas, September to Christmas.
It's perfect. I think that's it, man. I think that's
Fuck
it.
yeah, it was a pleasure, Ethan. Thanks, man. I appreciated the time sitting on my screen in my garage with you.
Yeah, thank you, Iberg. So we'll get planning and we'll get recording soon, and then we'll see all you folks. Me and Iberg will see you guys in September, but I got some other two planker stuff in the mix, so I'll have some stuff for you guys to listen to, and of course Iberg has tons of shit for you guys to watch, so you won't be bored until September.
No, we'll have plenty of fucking awesome shit from now until fall.
Yeah. All right, man. I'll see you.
Have a great day.
Peace.
Peace.